Hello and welcome back to Emma's Crafty Space. Thank you for joining me today. In this tutorial we're going to be making this little puffer bag, and the DSPs that we're going to be using is going to be from the Bird Ballad suite. They're absolutely beautiful. You can just see all the lovely vibrant colours in them, and these little stamped images and this greeting is from the Free as a Bird stamp set. So you can see it is really cute little stamp set to be using, and some of the sentiments are really lovely in it. So we're going to be using that. I'm basically going to do like for like with this project, and you'll need a scoreboard or some sort of tool that you can use to score your DSP. So the DSP that you're going to need is going to have to be cut to 6 by 6. If there's a direction of your DSP in that, it needs to be a certain way. You don't want your birds being sideways or upside down on this bag. So you have to start in this position. And whenever you're scoring DSP or designer series paper, use your thick end so that you don't pierce through the paper. So that we're going to make a start. So this is going to be the way I want my bag to sit, like this. So it needs to start here. So your first score line is 1 3/8. Okay. So then you're going to turn this, and you just need to be careful when you're doing this. So your next score line is going to be 1 3/8, but you're only going to score to the first score line you did. So it's going to be 1 3/8. So you're going to go to that score line. Okay. Your second score line is 2 3/4, but it's a full length. Okay. Your third one is 4 1/8, and it's to the first score line again. And then your last one is 5 1/2, and it's gone the full length. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that. So your first one is 1 3/8 to the first score line. Your second one is 2 3/4, and that's all the way to the bottom. Your third one is 4 1/8, and that's to the first score line. And then your last one is 5 1/2, and that's all the way to the bottom. So you can put your wee stylus away and your scoreboard. And then we need to do a bit of cutting. Now you can see that paper's quite busy, so I'm just going to turn it over to this side because it's easier to see, and you can maybe see where the score lines are. So the first thing is you're going to notch out this corner. Go across there. Okay, so you have that. Then just wedge that. This is going to be the seam that you close your bag with, so you want to wedge it. Then this is going to go up to the first score line, up to the first score line again, and up to the first score line. Okay, so you're just going to get your bone folder and burnish your edges to give nice clean edges. So you've only got 2 full length ones to do there, and then you've got your base ones here. Now a little tip with the base is pick any one of these 2 center tabs, and you're going to corner round them, and do that now, and it'll become clear whenever we get further into the project why we're doing that. Okay, so just put that in the corner rounder. Okay. Keep your wee workstation clean as you're doing it. Okay, so now we are going to put the bag together. So you can use double-sided tape. I wouldn't use snail because it just maybe might not be strong enough, especially if you're going to fill the bag with something that's a bit bulky. Okay, so I'm just using my multi-purpose Tombow glue. Give that a good press. I've started to just really run my bone folder over, and it just kind of spreads out the glue in under the paper. And so now you can see where we're getting the puffy kind of side of the box. Okay, so your base, you are going to do it in pairs. So you keep this one to the last. So put one down, put glue on it, match it up with its pair. Okay. Then put glue down, put that one down, and then this one is your last one. Just be a bit more concentrated with your glue on this one. Okay, and put that down. Now, the reason I did a corner rounder was sometimes these can overshoot the edge, whereas if you have that nicely corner rounded, if you look at the base, everything is nice and neat and tidy in there. It's not overshooting the edges. So it's just a wee tip if you are making that kind of box, or this kind of bag, sorry, that you can just keep it nice and neat around the bottom and there's no edges overshooting. And then if you just use your bone folder or a ruler or anything that you can get down in there, just to make sure everything's fully pressed down and nice and tidy. Okay, so a little closure for the bag. So you can see that is really simple, and look at all those lovely wee birds and flowers. So very, very simple. So again, I'm bird springing in this little punch again, and I'm going to put this in. Now, if you look at your punch, if you kind of marry these two sides up and have a look, so it's just so you know you're getting it into the center. So I'm just going for this little hole. Okay, just make sure it's pushed to the top, and then it's giving me that nice little hole. Okay, so it means then that you can put in a little bit of twine or ribbon. So I am using this twine. It's out of the seasonal catalogue at the minute, and it's called the burlap or braided burlap trim. So you can see it's really nice. Okay, so just cut a little bit out for this, and I am going to feed that through. Now there might be a wee bit of resistance because that hole is quite small. Just make sure you keep your bag kind of puffed out when you're doing this, and it'll kind of keep its shape. Okay, and then just going to hold that in place while I tie a little bit of twine around it. Now again, you could use ribbon, you don't have to use twine. I just think twine's a little bit more delicate. So you don't have to endure me struggling to tie a bow on camera. If I'm doing anything like this, I always try and keep the spool intact or attached, and it means then you can take or as much or as little, because whenever you're cutting it, you'll be cutting off this anyway. So just fiddle about with your lips just to get it whatever length you want. That. Now you could curl those wee ends if you want as well. Put that down. Okay. Obviously, whenever you're making this bag yourself, you will have time to fiddle about with it and not to worry about it. And this one, I used the seam binding ribbon from the Poppy Suite, the Painted Poppy Suite. Okay, so I'm just seeing the wee bag's kind of folded in on itself this side. So just push something in and it'll just puff it back out again. Okay, so now we need to make the tag for our bag. So I have used these two punches, again out of the seasonal catalogue, and these two are both carrying over. Now I know Old Olive is one of the colours in the suite, but I thought Pear Pizzaz would just lift the lighter green from that. I thought Old Olive was a bit dark. And then the sentiment I think I'm going to use, I'm just going to see if that's going to fit Your Friendship Means the World to Me, maybe. So I'm just going to make sure that I have this straight on my block before I stamp it. So just use my grid paper. And I'm going to use Early Espresso ink because I think it's a bit softer than using black. And we'll just set that down onto the label. I always need to put my stamp pads away because I will end up with it everywhere. So we're just going to lift a few dimensionals and stick our tag down. I'm going to raise it. So I'm just matching these curved edges with the curved edges of the larger tag. Okay, Okay, and I'm going to actually stick it to the bag with a bit of double-sided tape with the tags and the flowers. They're going to be raised, so I think it'd be best maybe just sticking this down flat. I'll just use a bit of tear tape for that. Bring your bag back in and just position your tag. Okay, so you can see it's just sitting off the edges, but sure, it gives it a wee bit of dimension. And I have already coloured in, because I'm sure you do not want to watch me colouring in. So I use the Stampin' Blends. Now this is Old Olive Light and Dark, and this is Calypso Coral Light and Dark, and then Petal Pink Light and Dark. So I'm going to stick the flowers directly on, because I don't know how much of the flowers actually going to take. I'm putting the glue directly onto there. Set that there. Okay, same with this wee one up here. Just put a wee dot on. One flower there. And this looks quite sparse here. Just nest a wee flower in there. Okay. So now I've got the foliage. You can see how much you want to put on. I'm going to put some on here and on here, because it's going underneath the green tag here. So hopefully the glue will stick to the tag as well as the bag. So I'm just going to, don't worry if you press your bag in, because you can always put something down there or just open it. Okay, so if you look in there, my tag, the leaf is actually stuck between the tag and the bag. And then that one will stick up in there nicely. So again, a wee bit of glue here and on the back. And there you go. And that is it. Now, if you wanted to go a wee bit further, you could put on a little couple of rhinestones in the centre of your flowers, or you could even put one castella around your flowers just to give them that little bit of sparkle. Just poofing this out again. Might need something with more of a sharp edge to get down in between the two. So you can see how pretty and how quick that was. It is a very cute wee bag. Now, it wouldn't actually hold too much, but if you're only sending something very, very small, you're not going to need too much space in it, but it is really pretty. Very quick and easy project. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and you maybe have a go at making it yourself, because it is very simple. And remember, the papers, if it is something that is maybe on your wish list, they are going to be retiring at the end of the month. Okay, thanks for joining me. Take care. Thank you. See you later.